Now I'm back for my second whiskey of the night. Yes, the first whiskey of the night was uploaded, or should I say, went public last Friday. This is the Monday. This is me trying the second whiskey of the night. The second 40% alcohol by volume whiskey of the night. And this one here is a Weiser's 10-year-old triple barrel. Now, I had a Weiser's 10-year-old triple barrel last summer, but it was a Canadian whiskey. It was a blend. This one is a Weiser's 10-year-old triple barrel rye whiskey. I hope you can see that. At the top of the label, it says a smooth, bold, and complex rye whiskey. Now, I have had Weiser's 10-year-old before, and I have had Weiser's triple barrel before, but I have not had, and Weiser's triple barrel rye, but not the 10-year-old Weiser's triple barrel rye. So this is something new. This is something I have never had before. Even though, and what clued me in was just the label where it says Weiser's 10 and triple barrel. The other one that I had more white on the label. I think it was a white frame around this reddish label. It was a white frame around it. But this one doesn't have the white frame. That's why it stood out as something different that I have not seen before. So it's time to try. I remember liking Weiser's triple barrel rye. Oh, and what did I pay for this? Just out of curiosity here. Weiser's 10-year whiskey. $33.99, 10-cent bottle deposit. $1.70 goods and services tax. $3.40 for the BC liquor tax. Total $39.20 out the door. So it's not expensive. Get a whiskey for 40 Canadian dollars, and if it tastes good, hey, that's a bonus. Because a lot of them at that price, some of them don't taste so good. But that would be on the neck pour. Sometimes there are some of those that get better with time, and I might come back and try some of those that didn't quite tickle my fancy the way I wanted them to. But I may come back to those and do them again, especially if they've improved and made themselves more palatable. Yeah. So here we go with this Weiser's triple barrel 10-year-old. Okay. I'm getting some spiciness. Now, what kind of barrels did they use? I think it says here somewhere what barrels they used. A unique blend aged in 3 barrel types: virgin white oak, American bourbon, and Canadian whiskey casks. So virgin white oak would be virgin white oak. American bourbon would be a first fill bourbon barrel. And Canadian whiskey casks would be second or third fill or whatever. That means that they once contained bourbon and then Canadian whiskey, and now they're containing this rye whiskey. And from what I understand, it being a blend as well, if I remember my triple barrel from some years, how many years ago was it? Let me see. Triple barrel. Oh, no, let's just put Here we go. Double still rye. I had that in 7 years ago, March 6th, 2017. And then I tried triple barrel rye versus double still rye in 2019. But from what I understand, double still rye and triple barrel rye were the same thing. I even asked Dr. Don Livermore when I was at a whiskey festival. I went to one of his master classes, and I asked him what the difference is between the double still rye and the triple barrel rye, and he said there's no difference. It's the same recipe. However, there must have been some batch variation because I noticed some differences when I compared and contrasted the two. Anyway, I'm definitely getting some of that spicy rye note to begin with. Yeah. Spicy rye note. And if it's a double still rye, then some of it was distilled in a pot still, and some of it was distilled in a coffee still, or not necessarily a coffee still, but a continual still, a column still. Yeah, column still. So some of it was from a column still, if this is the same as the old triple barrel or double still. But this is 10 years. This was aged 10 years. In 3 different casks. So that would be a triple barrel. Yeah, okay. And I'm guessing that some of the rye was distilled in, like I said, a column still, and some of it in a pot still. If I remember my double still rye and triple barrel rye. Yeah, sometimes it's a little tricky to get these things straight. Like I said, this was bottled at 40% alcohol by volume. So I'm getting some spiciness from the rye. Maybe a little bit of vanilla from the ex-bourbon, caramel from the ex-bourbon, but the rye spice is covering up some of these notes. They're there. You just have to make like a great big vacuum cleaner and try and get as many things out of it as you can. As this has been open for a little while, the rye spice is a little less spicy, and the vanilla and caramel is getting a little stronger. The spice is moving out of the way. For the most part, but there's still some there. This is nice on the nose. There's nothing really overpowering about it. Yeah, rice spice, vanilla, caramel. Quite straightforward. No sherry involved. I'm going to have to taste this real soon now. Oh. 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 I'm finding myself liking this 10-year-old triple barrel rye. It's got some on the palate especially, it's got some spice, not only from the rye, but from the virgin American oak, the virgin white oak barrel. So it's got the elements of a bourbon, especially when it has the ex-bourbon barrel component as well. But since it said rye whiskey, it would be 100% rye. Because I don't think the people over at Wiser's and Corby's, and I don't think they would call something a rye if it wasn't completely rye, if you know what I mean. They're not that distillery in Alberta, Highwood. And it's really curious that I don't see much in the way of Highwood products on the shelf lately. This is a very pleasant sipper. I really like what was done with the different kinds of cask. Or the different barrels. Of course, the rye whiskey was probably aged in the 3 separate barrels for 10 years, and then they were blended after maturation, as is typical for Canadian whiskey. Oh yes, I like this a lot. I am a fan. Wiser's 10-year-old triple barrel rye. I'll drink to your very good health on this one.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Yeah.